Hey there folks, how you doing today? As always, we're filming this live on location where life happens, and you may hear something going on in the background. Before we get too much deeper into this, I'd like to show you that we are dealing with safe and empty weapons. And again, a safe and empty weapon. In preparation for today's video, I had posted one of those community things to let people know what I was going to be working on. And I also did something kind of like a little advertisement earlier this week. I really hope that you folks that watch this regularly will share that with some of your friends and try to get some interest and involvement in it. Let me explain real quick what we have going on. Some of you may remember a few months ago, I did a series of videos on the Mossberg Shockwave titled Making the Mossberg Shockwave Better. Over the course of those videos, I did several modifications, attached accessories to the Shockwave to make it a more trustworthy and reliable platform. Before you start banging away and going crazy, I didn't do anything too wild to it. I just kind of wanted to add some of the stuff that I thought was important, which included this Streamlight TL Racker 4-end, which incorporates a 1,000 lumen, so they say, light into the front of it. And then I had applied the Opsol mini clip here on the bottom, which allows it to reliably feed the mini shells. It's also very easy to remove if you want to run standard ammunition into it. But the accessory that I put on the Shockwave that I think is most important is an accurate aiming device. As I had mentioned in my other video, aiming the Shockwave at social work defensive distances, like the kind you might encounter inside your house, tended to lead to a very high pattern, at least with this particular firearm. So what I wound up doing, after doing a little research, was purchasing the Crimson Trace LS-250 laser saddle for my Mossberg Shockwave platform. I went with the red laser option because it was about $50 cheaper than the green laser option, and I didn't want to break the bank setting this thing up for a good home defense weapon. So Crimson Trace actually reached out to me and thanked me for the review that I did on their product. Furthermore, they offered to send me a few more products to review and to try out, but more importantly, they sent me one to give away to you folks. So as you can see here, I still have the red laser installed on my Mossberg Shockwave. Alright folks, so for those of you who watched the initial video that I did on this subject, you may recall that I had mentioned that I was going to put a very significant upgrade on this Mossberg 500 shotgun, the green one. And that's what I intended to do. My plan was to put the LS-250G green laser saddle that Crimson Trace was sending me on this shotgun to test, to show y'all a comparison of the green laser versus the red laser. I was unable to do that with this shotgun because not all Mossberg 500 shotguns are drilled and tapped for a receiver rail from the factory. This one, as you can see here, is not. And for those of you that are already banging away saying, well, that must be a Maverick 88. Right there, you can see that it is indeed a Mossberg 500A shotgun. Because I was unable to put the laser on the green shotgun without modifying it, which I really wasn't willing to do, I decided to go ahead and apply it to this old trusty one here that I've had for probably about 20 years. As you can see here, bright green laser, folks. So being from New Mexico, the red-green argument is quite familiar to me. But which one is really better? And what's the difference? I'm not a scientist, but I've looked into it, but the easiest way I can describe the difference between a red laser and a green laser is that in this color scale of what we can see with our naked eye, you have at one end ultraviolet and at the other end infrared, and everything else is kind of in between. And it's my understanding that the green laser is more visible for a longer duration than the red laser is for most people. Concerning the laser saddles that Crimson Trace makes for these Mossberg 500 shotguns, the green laser is about $50 more expensive than the red laser. Why is that? I don't know. I'm assuming it has something to do with the laser maybe costing a little bit more to produce. Not sure about that. I can also tell you that the green laser takes 4 batteries. They're the little nickel-shaped 2032s, I believe. They might be 2025s, but I think they're 2032s. The green laser takes 4 of them as opposed to 2 with the red laser. So what does that mean? Well, at least to me, the theory behind it would be that the green laser would be more visible in more circumstances than the red laser would. That's what I get out of it. But does that actually happen? I don't know. Why don't we take them out back and we'll measure them at different distances and see if one is actually brighter and easier to spot at distance than the other one. So I am going to take you outside now and show you these 2 lasers side by side. A disclaimer is that given the quality of the camera that I have to produce these low budget films for your viewing pleasure, you're probably not going to be able to see the lasers as I move the camera back. So for a portion of the side-by-side comparison, I left the camera in close proximity to where the lasers were being projected. That being said, you'll still be able to see them, but I will commentate on how I can see them at distance, just so that part is clear. Okay, so I have to work with what I have, and currently it's a little bit overcast. We've got a tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico at the moment, and it is wreaking havoc on the local area. So I don't know if you can see it there on this tree. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can't. If you look right there in the middle of the tree, you'll see the 2 lasers, the green one with the red one on top of it. I'm at about 10 yards from that tree, and I can barely see that red laser in this overcast, otherwise bright daylight setting. The green laser, however, appears to be very bright. I'm going to start moving backwards until I can no longer see one of the lasers. Blank. Five yards. 10 yards. 15 yards. 20 yards. 25 yards. 30 yards. Okay, so there's the difference at point blank. And you can already see that the red one is much weaker than the green one, even at this close range. That is 5 yards. Yards. 15 yards. 20 yards. 25 yards. What did we gather from this? Well, at least for me, with my eyes, I was able to see the green laser at vastly extended distances compared to the red laser. I would say that at distances greater than 10 yards, it was much easier for me to see the green laser than the red laser. So I spent a little bit of time getting to know both lasers and actually putting them on target with a variety of different ammunition, testing not only for how easy it was to sight them in, but also how they performed with various loads at various distances. So what does that even mean? Does that mean that because Crimson Trace sent me a green laser to test and review and to give away to you, that I'm going to push the green laser? Well, no, not really. And here's my overall thoughts on it. Take this for what it's worth. This is only my opinion. The red laser that is less visible to the naked eye than the green laser. It's also considerably cheaper, and it uses half as many batteries. Now that's not really a big deal because, as it says on the side of the box for the Crimson Trace laser, they provide you with free batteries for the life of the product. That's pretty cool. And even if they didn't, you can pick up a whole sheet of them on Amazon for about 10 bucks, and that would last a long time. Is the green laser superior to the red laser? For all intents and purposes, it is more visible at a greater distance to the naked eye. However, that comes with a great big caveat. On a home defense shotgun that's going to be used at home defense ranges, the red laser is more than sufficient. So is the red laser just as good? Maybe. For inside the house social work kind of distances, sure, it probably is. Now, one major advantage to the green laser that the red laser couldn't achieve, at distances out to say 50 yards, man, I was able to see that plate no problem. I was able to pop those slugs in there. So, take it for what it's worth. One really important thing that I would like to add to this topic is the fact that not all rounds, not all loads out of the 12 gauge shoot to the same point of impact. So if you adjust your laser, say, for a specific slug at a specific distance, let's say 50 yards, that doesn't mean all slugs are going to hit to that same point of impact. That doesn't mean that your buckshot rounds are going to fly to the same point of impact. So you really need to decide what you're going to use the laser saddle for, dial it in for your specific application, and then figure out what works along with that. I was able to figure out that dialing it in with the specific Foster style rifled slug that I was using in my smoothbore 18-inch Mossberg 500 shotgun, I was able to put hits on paper pretty much where I wanted them, and with a specific buckshot load that I was using alongside it at about 20 yards or less, it was hitting to about the same point of impact. At least as close as what I would get looking at the bead. I have right here in this box a brand new Crimson Trace LS-250G laser saddle for the Mossberg 500, 590, or Shockwave platform. I haven't even opened the box. I'm going to be sending that out on October 10th. We will decide the winner of the contest. Now I know that's a different date than the one I put out when I first announced this. Some stuff happened. We had a tropical storm moving through the area on the days that I was planning to go out and film the outdoor portion of this video, so I wasn't able to do it. Then, immediately following that, I had to take off to New Mexico to go handle a family matter. So it ate up about a week. Put me behind schedule getting this out to you. So in fairness to those who are interested, and to allow as many people as possible in a reasonable amount of time the opportunity to sign up to win this thing, I decided to move the date back until October 10th, 2021. Right there. All U.S. residents over the age of 18 living in the United States are eligible to enter this contest. Given the nature of getting it to Alaska or Hawaii, it's probably going to have to get there on an airplane. And because of postal restrictions and regulations, they may not allow it to ship with the batteries in the box. I'll take it down there and I'll ask them. If they say take the batteries out of the box, I'm going to open it, take the batteries out of the box, and send it to you without them. So how do you enter? That's simple. Until October 10th, 2021, I will be leaving my email address in the description of this video. Just write me an email. Say, hey, I saw your video. I liked what you had. I subscribed to your channel, if you want to. I'm not going to make that a requirement. Let me know that you want the product. I will reach out to you using the email address that you submitted your entry to the contest with to let you know that you are the winner and ask you for your contact information. Do it on the honor system. Please don't enter the contest if you have no intention of using the product. Let somebody who actually plans to use it for their own protection have an opportunity to win. Aside from that, let me know what you think of the video. If you get a chance, like or dislike or leave a comment regardless. It really does help me to know what the audience is thinking and what to produce for future videos. So until next time, take care. God bless. We'll see you later.